let's talk about another one of our favorite cosms, of which we have many, the Nile Empire.
Nile Empire was in the original Torg. That was totally my favorite, and it's still got a strong place in my heart.
This is the cosm of pulp adventure,
right? So yeah, so all the 30s serial tropes exist there, and the flavor that they mixed in with it, because it's set in northern Africa, in Egypt, and the High Lord Pharaoh Mobius very specifically comes from an ancient Egyptian culture.
You mean Dr. Mobius?
Dr. Mobius,
commander of science?
But he's also Pharaoh Mobius,
right.
The leader of the Amat religion and the cults, and he's got both sides to him, and he fuses them together, just like the cosm fuses the pulp heroics and the Egyptian religion.
Doc Savage and Indiana Jones and the Shadow all kind of mixed into one thing,
right? Which
is kind of awesome.
Yeah.
So tell us about the world laws there.
So we got the law of action,
yes,
because of course these are based on the pulp stories and the serials,
right?
And everything there happened in a big way.
Right.
And so the world law's got to promote that. And it essentially lets you re-roll possibilities.
You can add another possibility, like after you spend one.
It's actually it's a re-roll. You can spend to try again. So like in the regular world where you try and you're like, oh, that's not that great. In the Nile Empire, it's like, well, go big, pay another one, and maybe you'll do better.
But this is the only way I can spend two possibilities on a single roll.
It is. Yeah.
And that's pretty awesome. So it lets you do really, really crazy stuff. And then there's the law of drama.
So and again, it's not just the action that's heightened there. It's like the emotion. It's kind of like almost melodrama in a way. Like these morality plays are happening in front of you, with the good and the evil and people switching sides and all that. That all kind of ties into drama.
Right? It makes it more interesting and exciting. There's something really going on. It's not just like, the average everyday trip through the desert. There's something really going to happen there.
And law of drama is also what powers some of the cosm cards that are things like the law of inevitable return, where it's like, okay,
we didn't find a body.
Yeah, you didn't find a body. Drama says that guy's going to come back at some point. Even if you did find a body, he's probably got a twin.
Comic book tropes, things like that. And then we go to the law of heroism. I like to call this the law of awesome.
Yeah, and that one, basically, you just get more cards in your hand.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, and cards are powerful. Right. Like, as you play the game, you're like, wow, this is where a lot of my hero's strengths come from, is this card hand. So when you go to the Nile Empire and have 5 cards in your hand instead of 4, you already feel more awesome. You've just got more things ready to go.
Now, how did the Nile Empire change from Old Torg?
Not much. Nile Empire was pretty much perfect in the old one. We didn't really touch on it a lot.
So there's still weird science. There's still pulp powers. There's still, crazy action and adventure. And the guy on the radio, this just in.
Yep.
The shroud spotted on Central Avenue.
Yep. One of the only things that we pulled back on from the original was there used to be a law of morality.
Right.
Where everything was like very black and white and good and evil, which we keep vestiges of with the law of drama.
But that was very similar to what was going on in Isle as well, so I can see why that would be something you'd
it's
want
a little bit that, and
adjust.
It's also very difficult at the table when you've got to make those judgment calls as a GM.
Right.
It puts a lot of pressure on the GM to go, hey, good guy, I don't think that was actually good. I think that was more evil. And now, by the way, you lost your powers and you just became a bad guy.
Shades of Grey, you can do a lot of drama with that, which is fine. But it's still a heroic realm. Like, we're playing heroes in this realm. It
is, absolutely. But it also doesn't then completely mess up people from other realms that go there. And it's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure you're a villain here, guy. Sorry.
Now, but you still get you still get a lot of that really great dramatic feel, though, from the way the world laws work. So while we're there in the Nile Empire, obviously we're facing off with Dr. Mobius and his goons,
and his goose-stepping hordes. Yes.
The what are they called?
He's got the shock troopers.
The
Nile Empire shock troopers.
The Imperial shock troopers.
Yeah. He's got them. He's got his own Gospog. We haven't really talked about Gospog. We'll save that for Rorsch. And there are all sorts of, you name it, if it's something that mad science could make or something that could be crafted with his religious power, he's got it.
Well, there's also the pulp villains. One of my favorite guys is the one he's got running Cairo, which is
The insidious Wuhan. Yes. Everyone at home, you must call him the insidious Wuhan. Is never Wuhan.
That is his title. It's part of his name.
Title. It's part of who he is.
Yes, and that guy's great. That's great. So yeah, those are the kind of people that we'll be facing off with. And we're going to be playing ourselves, these adventurers and archaeologists slash fisticuffs guys and things like that. I mean,
right.
Superhero isn't really the right word.
Right.
Man of mystery.
The mystery man is a little closer to where
Right.
it comes from. But yeah, so you've got
The Shroud is a good example.
Yep.
He's a guy he's good with his fists. He carries a pistol and he's an adventurer, but he's also got this enchanted cape that makes him seem far more terrifying to the criminals on the street.
Yep. And they're mostly people from Earth who've transformed and are now obey these
Or
tropes.
from Terra.
Yeah, there are a few it's a little rarer to have people from Terra now.
Sure.
They're coming over, slowly but surely.
I of course that I've got to see my Rocket Rangers someday, so hopefully
Stay tuned, everyone.
For the Rocket Rangers.
Next episode, same bat time.
All right, great. So we know who we're playing. We know who we're fighting. We know the world laws.
Yeah.
Why do we go? I mean, other than because it's awesome, which is a perfectly valid reason.
Yeah.
Why do we need to go to the Nile Empire?
So one of the reasons to explore, and one of the things that makes it kind of a giant treasure hunt, is we hit on this notion very early on that the pulp Egypt that springs up everywhere that Pharaoh Mobius lands, it's not really our Egypt, but it's also not really Terra's Egypt either. Because if it was Terra's Egypt, well, Mobius would just know where everything is and be able to get all that stuff. But he's just as surprised as we are. Like, what?
Well, it's more dramatic that way.
It is. He's like, what?
The world laws are coming into play here.
Where is this Egypt coming from? It's not from either place. So there's this big mystery. Where is this stuff coming from? It's not from either of our worlds. That's weird. And so there's a kind of a scavenger hunt, that both the good guys and the bad guys are engaged in, running across the desert to these sites.
Because you don't want Pharaoh Mobius, Dr. Mobius.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want Dr. Mobius to get his hands on it first.
Oh, yeah, exactly. If he figures it out before we do, then we're toast. But yeah, so we got to go to these sites and find the treasure and the scroll and the whatever and figure out what is going on with this Egypt that never was, and crack that mystery before he can and turn it against us.
Plus, sometimes there are some problems that can only be solved with weird science.
Yep.
Which is a thing.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah. Weird science is everywhere, and both the good guys and the bad guys use it to devastating effect.
So this is a cosm I definitely can't wait to get into play. And that's the Nile Empire.
Yeah, Nile Empire.